So it's very good to see you again, Lucy, online, and of course Minister Vương here in person, and very good to see Ambassador Anne in London. Last week, as has been mentioned, we had a very significant visit. It was significant first and foremost because we were celebrating 10 years of the UK-Vietnam strategic partnership and refreshing that partnership for the next 10 years. And we had a lot to celebrate. As we've heard, we tripled bilateral trade in the last 10 years. We tripled the number of British tourists coming to Vietnam. Last year there were over 300,000 British tourists. Of course, this year, due to COVID, that number's going to be much less, but we very much hope to return to that upward trend in the coming years. And we established over 50 university partnerships between British and Vietnamese universities to do research together. We issued over 200 Chevening scholarships to the best and the brightest Vietnamese to study in the UK. We had 3 high-profile visits by Royal Navy ships to Vietnam. So there was a lot to celebrate about the last 10 years, but more than that, of course, we were focused on the future. And I'll just describe a few of the themes from the visit which show where we are heading. The first theme was health cooperation, and we had a very important series of seminars with the Ministry of Health in Vietnam about vaccine regulation, vaccine preparation, vaccine distribution. And not only have we got some of the best British expertise here in Vietnam through Oxford University Clinical Research Unit, but we've also got some of Britain's best companies investing in and supplying to the healthcare market. So it was very good to hear from AstraZeneca during the visit last week that they are investing into production of drugs in the cardiovascular area in Vietnam. So that's part of their £200 million investment program over the next few years in Vietnam. So pharmaceuticals, healthcare was mentioned by, I think, Ambassador Anne and Minister Vương. That's clearly a big opportunity. Another area which we talked about was renewable energy, and as has been mentioned, there are lots of British companies engaged in both the expansion of solar power, rooftop solar, utility scale solar, but biggest and most important of all, the issue which, in my opinion, should become the defining feature of Britain's relationship with Vietnam in the next 10 years is wind power, because the UK is the world leader in wind power and Vietnam has world-leading wind resources here. So that was a main feature of our discussions. Another element was we were very pleased to hold a meeting with all ASEAN foreign ministers whilst the Foreign Secretary was here. As you know, Vietnam's chairing ASEAN, and we have submitted our dialogue partnership application to ASEAN this year. That was an excellent conversation. We have over 100 billion of trade per year with ASEAN, the UK as a whole, and we have over 100 billion of investment in ASEAN. We're one of the top investors. Unfortunately, as was pointed out, only 3 billion of that is in Vietnam, so much lower than in some other countries of ASEAN. So that's something we need to change. And finally, I think to talk about the trade policy dimensions of the visit. Again, it's been mentioned, but worth mentioning again. We really see the opportunity to drive future trade between both countries through the free trade agreement. We are benefiting from the EVFTA at the moment, the EU-Vietnam FTA, which the UK was part of negotiating. But now that we have left the EU and that deal will no longer apply from the end of the year, we're working very hard to finalise some of the remaining issues in that negotiation. The UK had a lot of trade deals through the EU. I think they covered around about 13% of our trade, and we have transitioned most of those deals already. We have transitioned, for instance, some big valuable trade deals with Korea and with Switzerland already. So this is entirely feasible. We've got a good platform. Most of the text, 99.9% of the text of the EVFTA remains valid, and it's a question of getting that small remaining part correct. But we have some negotiations coming up. We have some experts in the room, and like everybody else, I'm confident that we can make that happen in the right time frame to benefit British exporters, but also, of course, to benefit Vietnamese exporters, because at the moment, as everyone in the room knows, and there are some very good brochures on the tables here in our physical room of various export sectors of Vietnam to the UK. Vietnam's exporting 3 times as much to the UK as we're exporting to Vietnam, because Vietnam's got a lot of good competitive products at the moment. And I'll finish, sorry if I've gone on too long, but just this one last story. The story of the visit by the Foreign Secretary to me. He flew from Stansted Airport, which is near Cambridge, which is where ARM Technologies is based. ARM creates the code for nearly all good quality mobile phones. The mobile smartphone is the iconic item of this century. And he flew to Korea, where he met businesses including Samsung, and of course Samsung is the biggest producer of mobile phones, smartphones in the world, and then to Vietnam. And Vietnam is the biggest manufacturer of Samsung phones. So British technology, this is the supply chain of the 21st century in action. British coding in Korean high-tech products with Vietnamese high-skilled manufacturing, and then back to the UK. I'm not sure what mobile phone, Baroness Deverolf, what mobile phone you've got in your pocket, but if it's a Samsung, it's probably come from here. So thank you very much.